What is up, crawler fans, RC enthusiasts, and social media surfers? I'm your boy Josh with MOFO RC, and today we got a freaking buddy battle. We got an Inura, or no, that's not Inura. That is one of those toy cars out front, and I guess it's oh yeah, he's on some other aftermarket axle. I forget what it is. Not aftermarket. It's dang it, what are those? Some axle, dang it, I can't tell you what it is, but it's basically a custom build by Craig. It looks freaking rad. The rock buggy, followed up by a prime. We're caught on the nuts, stuck on the differential. There was bad driving by myself, and we don't have a diff skid or anything on the back of that guy, so definitely pulling over the differential is a bit of a hassle. So we definitely need to fix that, but we'll get there. Anyways, the prime, dude, freaking killing it. This is a customer rig, by the way. Kind of debating on the white panels on the side. Again, you can't see it. There you go. Oh, Craigie poo. So there you go. You can see the white panel on the side that covers the battery wire and whatever. I think that might need to be blue or green. I don't know. I don't think I really like the way... I don't really like it as white. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But anyways, it covers the wires. It's freaking sweet. This is a first drive of this guy. Well, Sammy, chill out, buddy. In the Viper, dude, TRX style. Thing is a baddie. Took him a while. That was the special edition. Oh, Sam. Beating it up, beating it up. Took him a while to get to that configuration and get it reined in, but finally, dude, he's got it working. Definitely a little heavy on the front end, but it works very well. Great job, Sam. Here we go in this crazy contortionist build. Thing looks badass, Craig. Great job. Come on, Sammy. So the XHX tires do okay. As you can tell, look, the what are those? The what tire? Oh, Klingons. No wonder they're doing good. Klingons are definitely the best tire out here, but there's times where they just kind of slip. It's this terrain. I don't know. It's like it makes like a dustiness, or like, or you could tell the tires like kind of get white over time, and they start to slip. So I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's ever going to go away. But like you have this like where it does really well and then it does bad. Also in this area, you'll see I did cut it off. I had like 20 minutes of driving at the end where we had sandy tires and it was just a struggle coming back. I already had 40 minutes of video and I was like, dude, we already showed off enough. Nice backflip, dude. Doing gymnastics. So a bit of a struggle here, dude. What Craig brought us up into, this thing is rough. What a little rough start there, Craig. Great job.
Come on. Just going straight, dude.
Here we go. So, man, I hope you guys are doing good. It's Sunday. I don't know if this will come out today or till Monday. We'll see. But this was our Saturday run with buddies in the afternoon. Started off nice and cloudy, a little bit overcast. It was great. Felt amazing. And then the sun came out, and you can hear Sammy crying in the background. He's melting like freaking popsicle. Oh, my gosh, dude. Couldn't have been like 80 degrees. Just the sun was beating down, and he's like, oh, my gosh. Just kidding. All right, so Craig broke front drive shaft. Now he's onto the Echo by Profit Designs. Baller freaking rig, running the also the XHX pins, but with no cut. So he's running those on the Enduro wheels, looking freaking clean. Those wheels do look super cool, by the way. Shout out to Enduro. They're freaking killing it. When I saw their new drop, right? New drop of parts that are coming in the email, you're just like, oh my gosh, their new parts drop is more than most people's freaking parts list, right? Crazy, dude. It's insane what they have. But you can see that they continue to reinvest in themselves. They've obviously, either partnered or bought tools that they did not have when they first started. They're just freaking killing it, dude. Endura is taking over the RC world, especially at this level. If they can continue to make a name for themselves, and also as the guys that they have invested so much into in this little class, and they've earned the trust of the guys at this 124 scale. As they push up, Endura's going to have to change their game, but because on their old stuff, intent scale was so. But if they can continue with the new tooling, with whatever they got there, they really can take over the market, dude. They're freaking killing it. They have a great plan, and I love Endura parts. So You know, just they're my go-to Amazon
nasty
parts.
obstacle, dude.
They're great
It's
price,
on the
and
side,
always
and it's
everything
a,
I've
like,
used
drop
for
away, so it's more
SCX24
than
or
90
TRX has
at the
been
top,
super.
you know?
So there you go. All right, so I pushed up into this guy here and fell. This is
Really
just
need more
stupid.
angle to be able to walk all the way
If
to
you
the
could make it
top.
over this, it would probably require a jump or just some luck. Just because the whole thing falls away, it's on an angle at the top. So even though you get your tire over the top, there's nowhere to go. Wherever you're pushing is going to just mess you up. You know, there's just nowhere to go. So you would probably likely have to get right up here.
Come on.
Sammy's doing it perfect. As you get the top tire to hook,
Let's go, Sammy.
and then give it a leap. Once you get the hook at the top, you're gonna have to just probably throttle it, like right there, and just and hopefully you don't break anything, because like that's the only thing I think that you could do. Because once you get here, then it's just terrible. You're just there's nowhere to grab onto, and because it's more than 90 degrees at the top, it like goes back down. You know, so it's not 90-degree vertical, but the angle between the face and the backside is more than 90. So very freaking hard to make that stuff. Just nowhere to grab onto. So Craig pushing up in the Echo, he's like, I want to try that. And of course, you know, I'm going to probably try again. I'm probably going to try again. I want another hack at it. Oh, I pulled the band on the front. Right there. See? Oop. Caught it, dude. Caught it. Pulled the front band and want to see if with a little dropout. And I think that maybe it would be possible, but the way that you have to do it is you have to catch. It's like Craig is a little shorter, and he's off too far to the left because it gets taller as it moves left. So he needs to move over to the right. You need to be over to the right about 3 inches this way, and hook the right tire. Then walk up to the peak, then hook the tire on the top, and then keep going the other way as your rear passenger, right rear, would begin to get to the top. Then you could turn down and let it fall. Right, that's probably the only way that you could do it, but you would be looking crazy. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go practice that.
Yep.
So obviously, right now I'm gonna keep trying, dude. Well, if I backed up, I was gonna flip. So the guy's like, "If you make that, that's impossible."
This is terrible.
I started to get the hook, but then I let go and then bit, and there's no way. Just no way. Just absolutely stupid. But that's what you get. I thought the guys did freaking great today. We had a lot of flips, a lot of trials. We're definitely pushing into some super duper hard terrain. You had some, times where maybe it would have been beneficial to go a little slower or whatever. It's real easy to just, a little too much trigger, a little too much turning or something and cause a flip. So, but you know what? I thought everybody drove really well. I thought the cars did freaking phenomenal. The Viper here is just doing great with Sammy. But it's definitely just with the steering and, it's probably the lesser, well, it is definitely the lesser rig on the rocks, I think. Just with this, I don't know. You'd have to battle it, Craig and the Echo battle. There's definitely things that one could do and then the other one couldn't do. It's just the width and these type of things, So I think this Echo looks like it's pretty darn good setup. Looks like he needs to tighten his steering link in the front. If you could see that his, shorten it, tighten it down on itself. And maybe he did that, or maybe it just happens, with the bump stops. If you leave the bump stops, you're trying to get more steering. But it'd be way more beneficial if you could get the steering in the front, which you absolutely can. It's just the bump stop stops it. So that's what I did to modify my Mias axle, is you just trim down the bump stop on the front of the axle, and that's all you got to do. And you have way ton of steering. So the only problem is your tire is going to hit your links or whatever. If you're running a body, I wouldn't recommend it, right? Like you don't want to have more steering because this is going to hit the body and that's no fun at all. Because it just binds up, pots in, potentially breaks stuff. Not good. So there's a good reason to have a bump stop, when you're running a body and stuff. But when you have the clearance and you can use the steering, then there's no reason to have a bump stop. That's preventing you from having more angle. So looking good, looking freaking clean, and then, oh geez, and then now we're pulling trigger, hung on a differential, hung on a belly, just in a terrible, like no tire on the ground. Pulling trigger, and then what happens? See the tire, right rear, oh. That's not what happens. We didn't bite on this one. No, it just fell off. Super hard. Who stacked these rocks? I did. They were all. We had a ton of freaking rain. That was the thing I was saying earlier, dude. You can see all the sand. Geez, there's sand all over because the whole thing was full of water here, and with all the rain that we've had, and so definitely makes it freaking hard once you get a little sand on your tires. It's just terrible. All right, so we finally give up on this obstacle. We're no longer going to try to push up on these crazy stacked rocks here. They are very freaking hard. So, Craig in the lead, in the Echo. Here we go, bro. Killing it, bro. I think Sammy... Is he coming up? Or do you have to swap? No, there he is. He's just waiting his turn. He didn't want to go up and around. All right, so we got to make our little way through here. We're going to kind of just... A little trail driving. It's still looking like pretty cool. Craig's got some good lines. But we're going to make it over to the more steep section. But we got to go kind of across some flatter area here. So let's go, Craig. Still a little tough descent there. Just got a little bit off camber and crap. Looking good. When you're on a hill and stuff, it's real easy if you get a tire just to go in the wrong direction or whatever, and then you cross up, and then you're over. So, and then when you're by the water, you don't want to do that, because then you're flipping in the water, like I did in the last video. If you didn't see that, we drove the Mias Prime SCX24. It was freaking rad. This is the TRX Prime. This is Inura. If anybody wants this rig, it is available. I can definitely make you one, or I can, or sell you one. But I am not going to list the Inura. Why? Well, it's just they're good axles. I definitely recommend them if you're running a body. If you are not running a body and you could handle more angle, then definitely it's going to be a less than thing. So unfortunately, I'd already made the choice to go with this, and this is where I was at before I ever tried Mias or anything like that. And so I'm sorry I built this rig for you, buddy, for Rudy. But I think that it is super freaking awesome. It just has less steering than I would like. So, anyways. If anybody would like the Inura, I would not necessarily recommend buying one, but if you already had the axles, then we could do the Prime on those axles, and it is amazing. But, if you could spend the $90 and just get a set of Mias axles, it'll definitely be better. Well, I say that. I never tried it. But so long as it holds up and is exactly what I expect it to be, then the Mias TRX may be the most dominant rig. But it's going to be a little bigger, wider than the Mias SCX24, which is definitely being pushed to the limit on length and width. Very long and narrow. We're less than 5 inches and we're at 180 millimeters.
Take the turn, guys.
Freaking longy guy. So I missed the turn. Again, this was a little bit of a steering, but it also could have just been set up if I was over behind and could see how to make the transition. This is just another obstacle that we struggle on, dude. Freaking A. So Craig just made it, just barely made it. Probably was a little bit of luck that he made it up in there. And then also I'm longer with less steering. So there you go. Those are the two things. I'm really trying. It's really actually quite hard to not flip over here.
Gee whiz, Sammy.
Just no grip. No grip. All right, Sam, your turn. Looking good, dude. Looking good. So right here is the beginning of the treachery.
Bridge.
Really needs to be up in there. And then, where does he go? So he's turning down, rear end goes up. He's trying to make the turn, but now his tire's pivoting on the rock. That sucks when that happens. So now he just bound up and flipped. So he just needs to get it to settle down. But I still don't think he has the steering to make the turn, really. I guess really you need to be up higher on the rock. I don't know. I didn't make it either, so what a struggle. But that's what happens when you're driving a monster rig. You may not be able to make tight little obstacles.
And he's got more steering than we do.
Oh, well. So this is one that rear steer would definitely be helpful to get your rear end of position and feet in the right place. But we don't got it. We just got drag axle. So I've been sitting here thinking, I'm like, so what am I going to do next? I'm pretty much at the end. I can't really... I can make redesigns and slowly make progression right now, but I don't really foresee like huge gains. Other than maybe potentially trying a different axle, like the hard part axles, for example. But other than trying a different axle that we get excited about, that maybe causes us to build something different, that may potentially be slightly better and in the same class. I feel like I'm pushing beyond the class, and that's where I really that I'm going. The progression seems to go, and so I'm just debating on what I'm going to do. I've thought about, do I jump to 110? Do I continue to push up into the mini class for nationals, or like what do I, or do I go MOA? I don't know. So I'm really thinking, I don't know. I really would like to go into mini class, because these guys are building a 9-inch rig that's 9 inches wide, and I know for certain that that's not a good crawler platform. If you look at my Mia's SCX24, that's like, if you cut those rigs in half, that's what I would be running. So it's kind of odd to me that that's what is being run, and I feel like if I could find an axle that was like, I don't know, here we go, Mia's Prime, let's go, SCX24. Look at this baddie, dude. This thing is so freaking good with the Dominator links and the Trixie wheels and the that's low weight hangers, dude. Freaking amazing combination. This thing is just awesome. That's the other thing why I want to get the Mia's axles. I can't wait to run the Trixie wheel hangers, the Trixie wheels, and that's low wheel hangers. That's low weight wheel hangers. Whatever, dude. Just freaking tell them why. So, because they'll be on the Mia's axles, because I should be able to put them, very, very little modification to put them onto those Mia's TRX axles, which I'm hoping will be here tomorrow. So, we'll see. But anyway, so we'll get those, and that should just make that thing freaking awesome. So, we're running the Daddy Rats on the, TRX Prime Inura. And it was killing it, and it's great, but half the weight is going in the front wheels, is going over the front axle. And if we could keep that all down below the axle, it would be even better. So that's why it's an upgrade. But I am definitely not going to make it for the Inura axle. I don't think that I could make it, but it's definitely going to be different. It's probably going to be quite a bit wider, or it's just going to be different, So I don't really want to make it because I don't really want to run those axles on the Prime. So that's it. So at some point, maybe I'll convert these things to other things so other people can run them in their own builds. But, for now, I'm only trying to make the things that I'm really stoked about, that I think are really the best, and that's where I'm really trying to put my focus. And then from there, over time, opening up like Ascent 18, that could be built. The only thing is, like, when you only got 45 degrees of steering, then you only got 45 degrees of steering, So it's like the same thing with building a TRX. Yes, you can build it, and yes, because if you have one, it would save you money. But certainly don't want to buy the stuff to build it that way. So that's kind of where it's at. And since so many new people are coming into this class, so many people are just building rigs. And because the other axles are so much more steering, and actually oftentimes cheaper than stock axles with all the upgrades, it's silly to even go that way. You're replacing your ESC, you're replacing your motor, you're replacing the gears in your transmission, replacing the gears in your axles, you're replacing, all these different things that cause it to be, actually, if it's a slow process and you start at the bottom, great, and you're going to slowly upgrade. But if you want to build a baddie from the beginning, it is way cheaper to build it from stock. It's simpler too. Build it from scratch. Just build it, buy all the parts. It's going to be better. It's going to be cheaper, and also you don't have to tear up a rig that you already have running and built. So I get that it costs a lot of money to do that. Totally understand, and so that's why I still actually recommend starting with a stock swap. We can still do that with my cheapest Slayer configuration. Just buy the chassis. Just put it on your stock parts. It will still be amazing. Going that direction, if you did a stock swap, is it going to come out here and play directly with us with what we're doing right now? No, we're way freaking beyond that, but that's actually part of the fun, is starting at the beginning. You drive a stock rig, it flips over, it does these things, then you swap it to a Slayer. Nothing else you did, you just swap it to a Slayer. So it's a lot of work, but there's a ton of crap to learn. So
Yeah,
it's
if you
okay.
let go of
Start at the
pressure,
beginning.
maybe
Start
over.
slow. It's okay to start at the
the same time,
beginning.
it's
And
gonna shorten,
I wish people would do that. I really want to go back. I need to buy a stock rig and go back to the beginning. But I think we still got more progression. I only got so much freaking money and time, to start back at the beginning right now, which we did that recently, and told people about. But, I really need to do that again and start back at the beginning. Oh no, Craig, you're going to fall. Jeez, guy. Another place, dude. We battled with this one for a while. Craig led us up here into savagery, and it just, we kept trying different things super duper freaking hard. So, are we going to do anything, or is he going to sit there? Holy crap. Anyway, so I'm saying, building a stock swap, if you've never been in the game, if you've never tried Texoma, I'm saying that's the best thing that you could do. And yes, it's going to cost you potentially more money, but on the front side, that only means you spent like 25 or 30 bucks or whatever the cheapest Slayer is at this point. I don't really know. So, but if you just start there, there's so much to learn and such a fun experience to be had. And maybe that means that you don't build this for a year. That's okay, because there is insane amount of crap to learn along the way to be able to drive this rig. And so yes, sure, you could just start at the top, and if coming into this you don't have a lot of experience, RCs, crawlers, whatever, and you could build something like this. Absolutely. However, again, you have building, tuning, and driving experience, skills that need to be grown. You know what I'm saying? And so, you can start here and grow them, but at the same time, it's okay to start at a much more simpler place and begin to learn, So, anyways, I'm not trying to push that on anybody or say that that's the only way to do it. That's just the way that, that's the way that I did it. And I'm telling you that, like, that was such a fun experience for me to go along, right? And you already get to start at my most recent setup with the new Slayer rails and these type of things. And so you can already build a super awesome car just with stock parts without anything other than the rails and the cage. So it's just that's just the way it is. So that's the way I think, and I've tried to tell people that if you've never done it before. Obviously, guys that have been here, freaking build a baddie, bro. Obviously, let's go to the top. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things. It's a fun experience if you're down for it to start at the beginning, just to start with a stock swap, dude. Just swap it over on an SCX24 and begin your Slayer journey. It's a lot of freaking fun, bro. I promise. Because there's so many times that you go from here and then you put, just from the stock, and you put the cage, and then it's like this awesome, you're like, oh my gosh, it's so good. And then you do things and whatever. And then you upgrade maybe you do the wheels, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's so good. And then you do a servo, and then you're like, oh my gosh, it's so good. You know what I'm saying? You just keep going. And you, every time, you make some killer new mod or add new parts, swap new parts on. It's just you get to have this huge increase in performance that wouldn't be noticeable if you didn't drive the other one for at least a few packs and drive it around your course and for a couple of days or something, and you drive it the way that it is, and then you make mods, and so it's just one of those things that's that the upgrade experience is freaking awesome. At the same time, just building a baddie and driving it is awesome. So there you go. That's Josh, your boy, Texoma RC, 2 cents. All right, Craig, finally freaking pushed past the obstacle. I don't know why we've been dilly-dallying, trying all kind of stupid crap.
You got that.
But he made it. Great job, Craig. And then I was not paying attention to where he went here and how he left. And so let's see what I do. I definitely messed up here coming out of this. It's very much harder than it looks. Definitely not easy. That right there, I pushed up too high. So there's one thing. I'm too high on that rear tire, so it's just upsetting me. And it's just I'm lighting my front end even. So now we stepped down and we made it. Okay, right. Okay, now we're up on the high side. That's what it is. I turned
You
down.
just need to get past that
I
jump.
should not have turned down right there. If I would have turned up up slowly as I pressured up, the rear end would have begun to slip down, and I should have been fine. Turning down right there shortened my front end. That's one of the things with the with a
It's
little
just
bit
that high
of
rock
wheel
on the
scrub,
right rear, dude. When you start to
steering
turn up,
scrub,
it wants to make
that
it
it definitely messes up. You can see here, Sammy going way slower than I was going. And just again, it does not look like it's that crazy, but I could promise you that this right here is hella savage, and then pushing up onto that is so hard. And then back here, I'm frustrated, and I'm just going, and I'm just in a hurry. I'm totally effed up, not even on the right line at this point. My rear end is way down, and so I'm just getting frustrated. But this is one of the things when you're happening, I'm out of position, and again, I just threw the car back there and try to push up into the obstacle, but you're not even set up in the right place to push into the obstacle. So, so frustrating. But that's how it goes. That's how it goes. Makes us look silly, but, what are you going to do?
Jeepers.
Another flip. Okay, no more flips, dude. So we got it nice and slow, controlled. We're in the right position, floating the rear tire. There we go. We're on a much better line. We didn't stay on the bottom side. Wasn't going to mess with it. But we freaking made it, dude. A little bit of alternate route. I could have potentially made that again down at the bottom. Again, all I needed to do was probably turn up slowly while throttling. Was probably the only deal. I just turned down quickly with no throttle, and that's what killed it. So just a little slow turn on the throttle and let the tire walk up, as you turn, That's how I'm supposed to do, and then if you don't, you F it up. Jeez. Come on, dog. All right, Craig, pushing down into some nasty here.
One.
Again, one of those things, I know it does look nasty, but it doesn't, this does not show how crazy this really is. And because, again, you're not seeing how also the fear factor of that it's a massive drop here, and he's about to flip off. Oh, tire bite, dude. Just missed the line just a little bit. Fell into a hole. I don't think you're coming back from that, Craigie Poo. Don't think you're coming back. Nope.
Oh, come on.
Looked like you could almost maybe. He was trying it. Yep. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen, dude. Let's go, Sam. There we go. He got it a little better. Stuck on the steering link differential. That's one of the problems with the TRX. That's why I did the axle clock. That was pretty badass, by the way. Pretty badass. That was fun. It just made the front end a little bit too high. Looking clean, Sam. Freaking scary AF. Oh my gosh. Great driving. Great skills. Little throttle pump. Great job, dude. It's treachery right here. Super treachery, dude. Oh my gosh, Sammy! So he would have landed on wheels. I was just scared he was going in the water. He would have been right on the edge. That was to wheels, dude. That was a lot. It's a lot of flips for Sammy to wheels, dude. A lot of flips to wheels. The Viper just seems to like the wheels. It just bloop, bloop, just lands back on the wheels. Ooh, look at the stability of that thing. Oh my gosh. So we lost it. That was a little bad driving on my part. Lost the rear end, but the stability of that thing is absolutely insane. Again, realize it's 5 inches, like maybe not even quite 5 inches wide, right? Just insanity that it's doing what it's as stable as it is at only 5 inches wide and being so long. Just freaking crazy, dude. I love driving that Mias rig. So good. All right, Craig, in a bit of a precarious situation here.
Just stay high, dude.
No ways you're going to be able to continue straight down. So he's able to get off. Look at the stability. Stepped off more straight off to the side. But insane angle. Great job, Craig. All right, here we go. Primus. Looking good. Look at that, dude. Oh, my God. If you don't know, dude, that was just savage. Craig, freaking echo,
All right,
dude.
Sam, you're going.
I love these water shots. Sammy was going the wrong way. Obviously, he had flipped, but he's still in the lead. We're gonna let him keep going. He did make it to the bottom.
Up with that thing
on
already
wheels.
drained that
So,
battery.
Just not very clean. Here we go, Sam. Craig got his wheels cleaned off. He was all sandy. He feels like he's ready to go. The only problem when you... Oh, Sam! When you put your car in the water, then you go over the sand again and then get sandy again. So if you can keep them dry, that's kind of like the best thing. See, all these little sand pockets. You pull up over rock, and then there's a sand pocket right there. And now you're pulling through sand, dude. And it just stacks up, and it just gets terrible. So... Again, I took off like 20 minutes of sand driving. We did make it. I killed it all the way back, dude. Like 20 minutes of driving. Freaking awesome. But we took that out because the video was way too long. Let's go, dude. That little step up right there, I did it on an angle. Craig's going a little bit more up over the top. I thought the little V right there step was so freaking clean. You couldn't really see it very well from the angle. It's one of the things. It's hard to film 3 cars at the same time and really get everybody and get all the cool action. But you know what? That's just the way it goes. There we go. There we go, Craig. Come on, buddy. Now he's dragging nuts on the axle there. That's a struggle. Not good, dude. Not good. Doing everything he can just to kind of pull, but it really needs to reposition. Not going good. Right, starting to bite up. Really needs to back up, dude. Here we go, Craig. Come on. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if that was enough. He really needs, I think he really needs to back up a little bit. Yeah, he needed to back up and let the rear end actually swing out a little bit so that he could pull back up the hill over the edge more squarely, so he wasn't hanging his axle. Anyways, here we go. Come on, Craig.
Ooh, that's perfect.
Just diffing out in the front. Cleaned it in the rear. Great job. Looking clean. So if you couldn't tell, dude, this has got to be my favorite. Is driving on the side, trying to track down these little freaking nothings up and down. And you just kind of got to push forward because sometimes, like that right there, I had intended to go back up, but it slipped off and there's no way I could go up now. So we're going down. And that's just the way that it goes. Just pushing forward. Trying to find the best lines and the craziest things that we could freaking possibly do. And that's what's fun. All right, here we go, dude. Here we go. And this rig right here is, no question, absolute 100% best thing I ever drove, hands down. And I'm hoping to beat it with the TRX Prime Mias axles baller. I'm hoping, dude. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be a freaking battle between those guys. That is for shiznit. So definitely, I have an idea on a part. Definitely waiting to hear back from Nick on trying to get a new part for the drive shafts for these rigs, just because it's a pain in the butt. You have to, right now, have to assemble and take a Gladiator, D-hole Gladiator from Inura, the male shaft, and put that onto a TRX transmission outdrive. So you got to disassemble that, and so you end up using a high trail and a Gladiator set to complete this, really. So it still takes 2 deals. It's not too hard, but the drive shaft does kind of hit, and because the way the TRX does their drive shafts with the rear male, so they have the female piece on the rear axle, and it catches up. So what I want to do is get a drive shaft extension, a straight extension that will clear that above the links just a little bit so that it does not catch up any longer. So I don't think it needs a carrier bearing. I haven't seen that this length needs a carrier bearing. Not at all. It just again on my TRX it does kind of hit. I do have those links up real high.
I think when
it's very long. So if I could get that pushed up just a little bit, that would also mean that we could use the high trail, but we would still need 2 drive shafts because we need a high trail male in the rear. So that kind of sucks. So we still do need it's still expensive drive shaft situation, even if we got that other piece made. But at least it would no longer hit. So there you go. But because it does definitely catch up just a little bit, you know, it's the lip from the male to the female piece as it goes backwards. Those pieces should have been reversed, and I guess I could reverse them myself.
I think that's a really cool
you know, when
deal.
I'm assembling it, I would just have to take one more apart and then put two together. So there you go. That would be great. I don't know why they do that. It's definitely backwards. It needs to be the other way. I don't know why you would put the female on the backside so that it's catching up. It doesn't make any sense at all. So it should be the female on the front side on both. It should be the female on the front axle and the female on the back of the transmission is the way that it should be. But for whatever reason, SCX puts the female on the transmission, and then TRX puts the female on the axle. So there you go. You win and you lose on both of them. Here we go, Echo. So again, pushing up on an obstacle, it's freaking hard, dude. Trying to do stupid, crazy stuff, pushing the limit. How you gonna find the limit if you don't push it? You don't try to find it. Well, we're definitely trying, dude. We're pushing these cars as far as we can go, pushing our skills to the limit as far as that they can go.
Look at the position, look at mullets here.
Yeah, that's what happened to me.
Man, I hope you guys are doing freaking good. Hanging in there, dude. Thanks to the Patreons. Shout out to the guys, dude. Sure do appreciate your few bucks. If you are not a Patreon member and you are still here, you like the content that I provide, you like the progression of these rigs and the things that I do, and you would like to help to make sure that it does continue, your few dollars does mean a lot to me. I don't make a whole lot from these videos, pretty much nothing. So, you know, spending a few hours doing this, it does, it is advertisement, and it does make money on sales, I guess. But as far as for YouTube, I don't really make any money. So, you know, maybe like 30 or 40 bucks a month. At this point, you know, just views are down incredibly low, just because I haven't been putting out a ton of videos, right? You got to stay continuously putting out videos. At the same time, you know, my video is for a certain crowd, and they see the same thing all the time. So, it's kind of hard. I need to do a bunch of other videos and stuff like that, but, you know, I'm not in the position to be able to do those things at the moment. So that's why we just go hit the rocks and try to talk about some things while we show off the savagery. That's just the way it goes. So anyways, I definitely want to show off. I got to do some build videos coming up. I got to show off the parts, the Dominator links and all these things, how to build them, and whatever. It is a bit of a chore to build the Dominator links. That's why it is a bit of a price. I probably will drop that as I get better at it, understand it better, and can make it go faster. I will probably drop my build price, and maybe even the ultimate, the parts price of the Dominator links. The only thing is I have added pieces in my parts trees, the link ends. I think I'm going to do now four instead of just three, and the fourth one. So yeah, you get, I think, maybe one straight, two angled, or I don't know. Anyways, we'll figure that. I got to build a few more sets of these. That's kind of the thing. It's just building enough sets of them to understand and to know what I really need, and you know, trying a few different things. You know, so they're definitely ready to go. They definitely work awesome. I'm just trying to perfect them before I really publicize and show pictures, you know, right? Like, I definitely, again, they freaking work, but if you understand what I do, is I put stuff up that absolutely works, but then the problem is, like, I drive it for a week or 2 weeks or whatever, and I find something, and you're like, oh, crap. So then I change it, you know. So typically, before guys ever even get it, that paid for it, all changes and corrections are made. This is how it is. I make it. It seems to work. And so I list it, but then I always find a better way or whatever, you know. And so that's just kind of the progression. And anytime if you got something that you felt like I made something better, just holler at your boy, dude. I always want to freaking, you know, take care of people, dude. Want to make sure that everybody's happy and feeling like, you know, that they got what they paid for, right? Like, that's just how it is, you know. And it's also a terrible business freaking model and whatever, but, you know, at the same time, I'm one of the homies, dude. You got to remember, I am a business, but I'm just a dude sharing his freaking setup, right? Like, it's all it is, right? I love building this crap. I love pushing the limit, and I'm just sharing my absolute best of today, right? That's really all the Slayer is, right? Like, the Slayer is my absolute freaking best I can do today. you know, and I've continued to push that, you know, and so on one hand, that's not really the best business model, but that's really all I am, right? I'm just literally here as a YouTuber and these things, just pushing the limit of these cars and sharing what I have and where I'm at and my suggestions and my knowledge. That's all I'm doing, you know, and I'm trying to make it you know, by doing that, you know, and you know, at the same point, I feel like I've come to like these setups. Again, we could change the way it looks or refine, you know, for later, you know, along the way for durability, or, you know, maybe we could, you know, get enough sales that we could, you know, push into new, you know, I don't know, processes or whatever that might make it cheaper or some other thing. But if you didn't know, printed plastic is not cheap. It's, you know, it takes super a lot of time to make these parts. And, you know, when I have one thing that I can sell for this amount of money, and then, you know, that's a good item, but I can make this other thing and it takes 3 times longer on the printer. If people want that, they're going to have to pay more, right? Like, even though you might say, well, I don't think it's worth that because it's printed plastic. Well, then go buy something else, right? Like, I can only do this. There's no way that I could make these parts in other things, right? I have no funding, zero money at all. And I'm trying to make the most premier, baddest thing that you could ever drive. And I do, with no freaking money and no help. It's just me, my homies, right? I have help from homies, right? That's all I got, dude. And so, like, when people say, oh, well, it should be this, or, you know, for the price, you're like, well, dude, I'm giving it to you the best that I can do. You're getting my absolute best. And if you want to play, come on. If you don't think that that's something that's valuable to you, no worries, dog. You know, there's Amazon, you know, parts all day. The problem is Amazon doesn't sell this. There's nothing on here that I make that you can get comparable than anything like that. Rip till you flip.